Hey guys, welcome this morning to the Pizza Roll Diaries. This is the V-Man from No Budget Productions. And with me today is Drew Manker. Drew, how are we doing this morning?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing, Vance?
I got my fucking Facebook back, so I feel like I'm walking on sunshine.
You can show off your man boobs again.
That is, and that's saying like it was right before that man boob contest I was going to do on Facebook, like too hot for TV. That's what it was. They
That's
they want.
you got to keep that stuff quiet because your Facebook is listening to you over your phone, and
I got
that's what they know when to shut you down because you're going to break the internet.
I gotta surprise him. Just be like, boo! That's what I gotta do, huh?
That's
Just
that's right. Yeah, just Facebook Live.
that's
Hey, here we go, folks.
there you go. You like those man titty? That's the hair on that nipple is mine. That's what's
Let's get a close up on that one.
have you seen that? What is it? Have you seen Workaholics?
I think I've seen a few episodes.
I think like the first episode, like the guy gets a picture of a nipple, and he's like, "Oh man, I got that. A really hot girl sent me this picture of it, and it's not. It's his friend's fucking." And so like every,
It's
it's so
just like
funny.
a close up of the nipple, like
Yeah. He's like, no, it's not yours. He's like, no, it is. And he lifts up his shirt, and you can see like the square around his fucking.
he's got the little birthmark where it's like, oh, damn it.
Damn it! I don't want that today. So in the stream this morning we have good old Brian England. Brian, how are we doing? And first contact day. All right. And Frank Parker's in the thing, and he also says happy first contact day. You got to forgive me. My camera's a little wonky this morning because I was filming and then I did a video. So I'm now in my living room and I'm hooked up to all these things. And I'm afraid my camera's gonna like tip all the way over. So I don't want to be like, oh, here's this comment and here's this comment. So because I feel like I'm face palming myself there. Let's see, USSAN ARG. It says just pulled into work. I'll have to miss you guys. Have fun. Well, we'll miss you, buddy. So you just catch it on the rewind. That's why we're always here, man. So and as the internet proves, everything on the internet lasts forever. My Facebook.
Nothing is ever gone.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
So when you show your man boobs, it's always out there.
Yes, and as Frank says, there goes my eyes again. Sheesh. Ah, yeah, there we go, Frank. That's the money shot. Claude Sailing, hi, how we doing, buddy? There we going. Let's see. Facebook was created using stolen code, says Zuckerberg, to creep on girls in college. Well, but I mean, that's called ambition, Brian. So I mean,
Which is why whenever something gets stolen, we call it zucking.
Oh wait, that I've heard that used several times. Like, oh, man, okay,
Yeah,
I
no,
got
that's the thing. Like when businesses steal something, it's hey, they zucked that because it's a Zuckerberg.
Wow, that was. Yeah, I wondered because like one of the last things I posted was like it just said dick pic and it was a picture of Zuckerberg and I was like, I wonder if he finally took offense to me just fucking poking at him. You fucking douchebag.
Facebook's finally taken down only true information. That's why there is so much political stuff up on there because none of it's accurate.
None of it. It's all fucked up. So for this morning, I decided to do something a little special than my normal black hoodie, white T-shirt. I decided to wear. Do you recognize what I'm wearing, Drew?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
That's your. Well, I mean, you got the DM does GB hat for Dunder Mifflin, and then you got the Michael Scott's Meredith Fun Run there for the what was that one for the babies? Well, there were several
for the rabies.
The race for the cure, yeah. Oh, the rabies. That's right.
Yeah. See, and that's man, those two things. When I saw them for Christmas, I was like, fuck, I gotta get that. And then when I did, like I love how I love how Clay at work is like, my fucking eyes, take that hat off, my fucking eyes. I'm like, yeah, because it's a very pink hat. It is a very pink hat.
On at least on my screen, it looks like a faded red. So I don't know if people quite understand that. No, this is a bright pink hat.
Yeah, and I wear
this actually looks like a color like Clay wouldn't mind. It's kind of it is like a mute red, kind of a thing. But no, it is bright pink.
I mean, that's the thing I love about Clay. Like, he's always like, "No, stop wearing that bag of dicks." I'm like, "Oh yeah, like anything to get that, bag of dicks." All right, yeah.
Good old Clay.
Good old Clay. So, all right. So, before we continue this morning, next week we should have Glenn Wolfe on for Pizza Roll Diaries, and he's of course from Warp 66 Studios and from the Federation Files. The week after, on that Monday morning, we should have Adam Mullen, who does a lot of composing for the fan films. I think he's done a few video games. He's been a producer on Project Defiant. So, and he's been a good friend of mine for a couple of years. I mean, oh man, it seems like forever. 5, 6 years. I mean, that's pretty sad when you're like, oh, a couple of years and it's been like 6 years. You think, it's like, oh man, that's a long time, but it's been forever. Then after that, we'll have Leslie Sawyer, who has been in a couple of my films, and she's also going to be in a few of the upcoming ones. She also appears in Star Trek Nature's Hunger. And she's been in a couple of Ray Tessie's films. I forget the names of them exactly. But I mean, she's all around fan film person. So I mean, if you recognize that name, pop on in on that Monday morning. Then after that, we'll have Paul, and I always mispronounce his last name, Jacques Walkies. I'm not. He plays Captain Lobato in my films. So if you recognize that character, then you know the actor, and he'll be joining us that following Monday. So so that's who we have coming then. And on one of these Saturday nights, we'll have Dylan Sides, who is the guy behind, or one of the people behind, the fan film coming up this month, Batman Otherworld, or Other Worlds. Batman Other Worlds. And that film looks, he showed me a trailer that they were about to release. I don't know if they had quite released it yet, but it looked just fucking phenomenal. And the things that were behind it, you saw like a Michael Keaton-esque Batman. You saw a 1966 Burt Ward Robin, ish. I mean, it looked like it was all over the place, and it just looked like, what true nerds would fucking love. So if you are interested in Batman, one of these Saturday nights, we will have him on, just kind of talking turkey. I know usually I'm more into talking to Star Trek people. But if you're one of my friends and you got a project coming, I like to support it. So I believe you should stick within the community that you know. So that's what I'd like to do here. So that being said, talking about community, Drew, you have been both in front of and behind my camera. You want to tell us about your first experience working on the Constar Chronicles?
Let's see. That was the one where we went out to the lake, wasn't it?
It was the one where I was writing a note to my dad.
Yes, that's right. Which that one was like I'd heard Vance talk about it at work quite a lot, and for quite a while, and just kind of talking, and for a while he I think because that one I believe we shot, I want to say it was like early March, or sometime in March. It was a spring day. It was kind of chilly, but yeah. So I know it was kind of the first fairly reasonable day to get outside that year, and at least in Kansas. And Vance had he'd kind of been talking about it all winter and talking about wanting to get going and get prepped for his films that year. And so once we found that weekend that we thought it was going to be fairly nice, we were able to get set up and go out there. That was one I definitely found it really interesting. Of just I guess in my head I've always known like when you shoot a movie and stuff, not everything is done in total sequential order. Like when you see scenes and everything of I guess when you watch a show or something, you kind of think, oh well, they went and they started at the beginning and then they did the next part and the next part and the next part, and it just kind of one shot right after another is kind of how you would think it would be. But I guess in reality, it makes sense. It doesn't really play out that way. But it was quite interesting to see the way that Vance does everything for the first time. And like we kind of got done there, and we started talking about the the other shots that he wanted me to do, and we kind of started talking about his vision for what the kind of look that he wanted, and he said he was looking for kind of that abusive father kind of a role that he needed me to play, and kind of some of the things that from the perspective of a person that's either being abused, which was kind of what he was trying to portray, was those memories and kind of the things that he was looking for. And I sat there for a minute in the car and I said, you know what? I'm doing some remodeling in my house. I've got a wall that I need to tear out. You want me to punch some holes in some sheetrock? And he turns and looks at me and goes, dude, that would be awesome. And so, yeah, later that day, I went home, put on the uniform, and started punching some holes in some sheetrock. And it's probably good that I don't have neighbors or anything attached to my house, or that they can see inside, because that might have been a little bit concerning for some people if they didn't know the context. But it was a lot of fun. So yeah, but I had a lot of fun doing that, and then getting to kind of see the end product of how all of that actually gets put together, and how it turns something from just all these kind of one-off choppy clips that get put into a full you know production movie. So it's pretty neat. And then too, like I think I'm kind of in a really unique position as a person, because especially at that time, like Vance and I worked basically in the same office, and so as Vance would be getting clips of that movie, and he'd get stuff back from the editor, and he'd be really excited and say, hey, I want you to come look at this. And so I'd get to see kind of every single step as the movie goes along, and it's not just the bam, here's the final production. Like I kind of got to see the little bits in between, and just see each one of those things get put together, and it is really neat. So I
And
enjoy it.
that is one thing I get very easily excited when it comes to doing films. And I think you're exactly right. Like I think you get attest to that. Like every time I'm like, dude, I got a new film, I got to watch it. We got to go on break and got to do this. Like it's like every time I get
Oh, he
something
does.
new.
It's Yeah, he'll send me something, and hey, here's the new one. Well, let's watch it when you come over for break.
Yeah, I get very excited on that stuff because it's to to someone who makes films, it's that shit's like crack. You want more of it. You're like, oh man, this is really cool. Because again, it's something that you started off with nothing, and then you end up with a story, and you're like, man, this is relatable. Plus, the thing I like about you is you're really great to kind of blow ideas against, be like, what do you think about this, man? And yeah, this works, no, this doesn't, or but what about this, and so you kind of give a realistic perspective. And I think you and I kind of think along those same lines of, that doesn't really flow, and that's I think that's one thing that I enjoy working with you. And it's the same thing with directing. You've been behind the camera directing my some of my projects, and I'll be like, hey, I'm kind of looking for this shot, I want this, and you're like, yep, nope, I got it. Oh, okay, cool. And then as soon as I see it, I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. So it's I never have a problem like handing off my project, being like, hey man, get the shot. But off that first adventure we had, do you remember the ladder that was brought by our good friend Sean?
See, trying to think of, now that I think about it, I do remember him having a ladder.
Yes, that
I don't
was
remember why,
that.
but
We're like, we don't need it. Well, I'm gonna bring it just in case. I don't think we need it. No, no, no,
oh,
no.
that's right. Yeah, he kept talking about it, and then we ended up, yeah, we didn't use it because we were like, well, we didn't need it. So yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah.
like I remember we show up, and he like pulls this ladder out of the back of his car, and it's like we don't need a ladder.
Yeah. Yeah, it was one of those like, oh dude, like I mean when I say I need an upshot, like just stand above me, or like something, like we'll make do. But that ladder, it's like, dude, I don't
Well,
want you to fall off the ladder. Like what are you
I
doing?
mean, I guess I appreciate the thought of like in case we need it, but I think for that one, the location that we found really worked well, because just the terrain of
Yeah.
like that slopes kind of, it was a campsite at a state park, and it slopes down to the lake and everything. So to get the kind of over the, kind of like right behind the ear, over the shoulder shot that you wanted to get. That one really worked. Of that just the way the terrain was and everything, like you could do that and you didn't have to worry about it. So,
Mm-hmm. And
but
now
we always know that Sean's prepared with a ladder.
we've got his number, so we're looking at
Right.
you, Sean. We got it. We got it. No, that's anyone that thinks we're ragging on him. We love Sean to death. We see him every day at work, and he's a quirky guy, but fun one nonetheless. Lady Q on IMVU, thank you very much. I appreciate it. It was nice to be able to make a post. So thank you. Um, Drew, does Vance ever forget you? God damn you, Ian. No, Commodore Boone and Commodore Mitchell. God dang it, not Mitch. Commodore Grissom. Fuck me, dude. You know what? I'm done with you, Ian. I'm done with you. I'm done with all of you. And don't get on there, Frank. Don't make your comment either, because dang it. So that being said, that was your first adventure, and I think your second outing was the Mirror Universe Father, where we were in. God damn it, Frank! So your second outing, showed you as the Mirror Universe Father, where we were kind of taking it in a much different direction, where you were more of an antagonist for the Mirror Monarch, the Phantom. And that was much different than in the first one, because in the first one you were more of a ghost type figure. You were just more of a presence. You weren't really there, and then you were told in flashback where you're just an angry, aggressive, again told from an abusive point, because that was the story that we were telling. But in the Mirror Universe one, it was more antagonistic. What was your take on playing that version of a character? Because it was slightly different, but it was of a character that we really didn't know, but you got enough sense of him that you're like, this is different than what we've seen. What was your take on
Yeah.
playing that?
Yeah, I think you definitely, like you said, you don't know a whole lot about them, but and maybe some of that's just the context of the that we know about the mirror universe in general from canon, but it definitely felt like, and I think when we talked about what we were looking for, I think we definitely wanted to portray kind of that. I don't know if well, yeah, I guess antagonistic is a good way to put it, but kind of that definitely a different relationship, where like I think this version of Menard's father wanted to see his son succeed, but was never happy with anything that he did, and so it was just very high expectation type of a person, and then just kind of haunting him from the grave, kind of a thing, where of like you've never lived up to my expectations, and so it definitely was like I know you've talked to several people that have said that they kind of enjoy being able to play a mirror universe counterpart, because it is like it's a different look at a character, and a different it's kind of a way to live vicariously through that character of like, what would I do if I could be evil, kind of a thing, which is one of the reasons I think some of the best actors out there just in general are people that you know play villains and do like kind of those character actors that play villains, because it really takes an extra level of kind of to put that extra persona on.
Hold on just one
uh,
second. Yes, Royce? Cats hate spiders? I did not know this. Well, thank you for telling me. Okay. Robot arms? Okay. Well, I'll keep that in mind. So, for all of you at home that didn't hear that, cats hate spiders because they have robot arms. So, that was the gist of what I got from Royce. So, yeah.
I feel like I just heard next David Attenborough talk about like a the next Godzilla movie of it'll be Mecha Spider.
I see. If Royce doesn't get a credit, it's stealing our shit, man. It's another company that's stealing our shit. So with what you were saying with living vicariously through,
Now watch, robot spiders are going to show up in season 4 of Discovery.
well, they already showed up in the one Lost in Space movie, so that's kind of,
That's true. So,
that is. So,
but it'll only be unique if a cat, comes up and is the one that hates these ones. So
well, they do have books. Cat.
yeah,
What's
they
that?
do have
Cat,
a
what that?
queen. So
So that's
you
yeah. So
know
that's now it's going to be
if
a
she's
thing.
eating robot spiders in the next series, then
That's just another thing that we see that we're like, I don't know here.
gee, that seems kind of coincidental.
That's kind of funny there.
That's
So
rather specific.
it's all due to Royce. So that being said, you got to play the kind of the ghost of the father, and then you got to play the mirror counterpoint to the father. Um, the third time you played this character, what's the third time? It was in the Tilt-A-Whirl, wasn't it?
No, I think the third time was it was more of a memory. I think it was Standard Universe,
That's right. That's
but
right.
it was more like I want to say it was more, like if the father was able to come back, kind of a thing, like kind of like I kind of got the impression that over his life, like from things that he had done earlier in his life, he had been estranged from Menard, and that
Mm.
over the father's life, like he had learned some things and come to regret some things, and this was kind of, even though he was gone, like it was almost a chance for his soul or his spirit to come back and say those things that he always, I think he always felt in his heart and wanted to say, but never knew how to express.
Yeah, I forgot all about that one because that one we did in the woods that we usually or that we used to. When I say usually, it's been well over a year since we've even shot there since the whole COVID thing. Um, but we went out there, shot, and we really had that kind of heart to heart that I felt that was that would have put Menard's mind at ease. And the sad thing about it was when he wakes up from the kind of the hallucination, if you will. He doesn't really remember any of it. It's kind of like it was kind of my take on Alzheimer's. How Alzheimer's, people they'll kind of get lost in their memories, or they'll remember conversations,
Yeah,
somewhat vaguely, sometimes wrong. And I really wanted to do kind of a 24th century. Menard's dying, the quad lithium's having its effect on him, and so let's go ahead and give him this moment with his father that we never got to see. Kind of a happy ending for that arc that you got to play. And again, I felt that it was kind of respectful to your performance of playing that character, because there was really no sense in doing it outside of just, hey, one, I enjoy you acting, I enjoy acting with you, and to kind of give resolution to, hey, he's never really had that relationship with his dad, so let's go ahead and make it right here before he passes. Because I think in those moments, like, because it's right before Menard passes, and it's kind of that, hey, this isn't your journey anymore, it's everyone else. You've done enough for everyone else to start their journey. You can end
yeah,
yours now, son.
yeah.
And I really loved that, because I just felt like there was a lot of heart that went into both performances, at a critical time in that character's life. What was it like playing that version? The not punching holes in any walls, although I'm sure there's a handprint in a tree out there somewhere, um, and not being antagonistic, like actually being kind of a heartfelt, hey, it's gonna be okay. What was it like playing, that version, that side of the character?
Um, I think it was cool to have been able to kind of take it from several of those different points, and to just kind of like you're saying, as and if I remember correctly, that movie is, you're right, it's where Menard is kind of on the end of his journey, and is not too far from dying and kind of moving on. And so it definitely felt like that kind of a thing of like, like what would you do, as a person if like you've had all this time to be able to think and to to reflect on your life, and it's that kind of thing of like looking back and evaluating, being really honest with yourself of saying, okay, you know here's the mistakes that I've made, the things, like, it's kind of that chance for the father to go back in time, and if I could have told myself 20, 30 years ago this or that, like what would I have done. It's the same kind of thing with what would he have told his son, you know that when he was very young or starting out in his career as a captain. And so it was really neat to be able to kind of take that chance and reflect in that character, which in a way kind of makes you reflect of yourself too and think of some of those things.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's. Oh, go ahead.
oh no, you're good.
That's like that's one thing like you and I've talked about with going over scripts and characters and whatnot, that it's we bring a lot of ourselves to the character, whatever we're doing, or whatever performance, we take inspiration from our real life events, and I really feel like you see a lot of Drew the person, in that, because we have, of course, in the previous two, we don't like your character. We're like, oh, this dude's a dick, but this is the first time where we see, the character in a different light. And I think a lot of you as a person kind of shines in that, because anyone that knows you knows, no, you're a pretty funny guy. I mean, you have to be to kind of put up with me every break, at work. Um, Especially when you're like, oh man, I didn't get the man boob pictures. Damn it, Facebook, what is wrong with you? What? Damn.
It's
Uh,
that, and Facebook doesn't get the dick pics, so.
you're like, good thing I saved those things, man. That's
Hmm.
um, but I mean, this seeing you play a character that's more more true to who you are as a person. I felt was really rewarding. And again, like I said, to kind of heal that relationship between those two characters, which isn't even, to me, it was something that you didn't realize you wanted, until you saw it and you're like, oh, of course we need this. It's something that completes that character. um, so the next time we see your character, he's in the Tilta world, and we go
Yep.
back to the Mirror Universe father, and we kind of add upon, um, the kind of condescending type, except it comes from a perspective of, what's going on, and you're kind of filling in the blanks for Menard. And we don't get a lot of time with the character, but we do get enough that he's he's very true to how you kind of played him in the mirror universe thing we had. So that memory wasn't really an exaggeration. He's not really the friendliest guy, but he's not malicious. At least I didn't feel. What was your take on
Well,
playing that version?
and I think that's kind of some of what we see out of some of the more recent mirror universe stuff, is you kind of get to find out, like, I think the take on the mirror universe, that it's simply like the evil counterpart to the regular universe. uh but like, I think that's a very simplistic take on just kind of the way those two operate, and that's one of the things I've liked about seeing some of the more like the latest stuff out of last season's Discovery, was you get a little bit more humanization of the mirror universe.
Right.
It's, I mean, granted, it is the environment that place exists in is a what we would see as a much harsher, like it's just, it is very much different to us. In a lot of ways, it seems, frankly, evil. But I think here you kind of see that this version of Menard's father is like you definitely get that kind of driven, like wants to conquer kind of a-hole personality out of him. But at the same time, you kind of get this, like, he recognizes that, or at least by this point, he's recognizing that what that version of Menard is doing is not going to be good for anybody, kind of a thing. And
Right.
so it's kind of like, like he's realizing that for the good of us all, like I need to do something to take care of it. Like I didn't do it in real life when I had a chance, but here, it's something that you're going to have to take care of, and kind of trying to impart that, that meaning and that importance on Menard, and kind of giving him the tools to be able to do some of that.
See, I thought I think one of the best scenes in my fan films, definitely the movie. I think when we're in the tilt world, which I thought Jason Spriggs did a wonderful job of creating, our version of the Phantom Zone, um, but when he created the tilt world, I really wanted that shot of the Phantom up in the sky, So when we did that, and it's kind of, it's easy to kind of act against yourself. Sometimes it's hard to act against, but when you and I are looking up at this, you're kind of pointing up, you're like him, and then we both kind of look up, and it's not, I mean, nothing's there because we're not looking at anything. But then, in the final movie, you see the Phantom like poof, and the Phantom's there, um, it really kind of puts a weight on everything you're saying, because I remember when we did that shoot, and Matt was in the black hoodie, and he's just kind of swaying back and forth, and that was something that we hadn't planned.
Was wasn't that Chris?
Okay, you're right. It was Chris. It was Chris that did that, not Matt. You're right. It was
Yeah,
Chris.
because he had the hair down and everything.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Um, but yeah, I thought that particular shot came out really really well.
Oh yeah.
Uh, and so and that was, I enjoyed that one because it's got some Easter eggs in there that I don't know how many people will pick up on, but that one was really fun.
Easter eggs was kind of a pun there for what we're. It was great. The fact that we got
Hey,
away with
and
so.
it was like several months before Easter, so you know.
There you go. There you go, man. No, like that was like when I first did it, did the film. I'm like, man, the place we did it, I was like, we can kind of get away with a lot of what we're doing, and then you add the special effects in it, it just makes everything like that much better. Um, but that I think was one of the greater scenes when the Phantom kind of poofs up, and the other thing that it looks great on film, but it was so damn awkward to do with it was you punching me. It looks great on film, but like we know where it came in close contact at all. We are like, fuck, we'll fake it. We'll fix it in post, which is something you never want to. When someone says that, you're like, what am I doing? Is this a real production? Like nobody is supposed to say that. Like fix it
I,
now. Like let's.
I think that's kind of the one exception, and maybe some of that's just just because of, and I think some of it's just because of real life movies, and the way that the action sequences are so kind of puffed up to what we think is, oh, that guy just got punched, and it's like reality doesn't actually look like that. And
Right.
it's the kind of thing of I remember having a history class at one point when I had a teacher that he was talking about one of the very, like, when movies were very first came out, that like back in the teens or the 20s, and it was just like brand new, that there was some guy that wanted to do like some kind of action scene, and or some kind of action movie, and so he went to like a small town and like on the border of Mexico, Arizona, or maybe it was over the border into Mexico, and they actually caught on film like this gang coming into the town and like raiding the town. And they're shooting people and stuff, and then they watched it afterwards, and they're like, "Oh, these people got shot. What? They like, we don't see anything." And because you think when we see movies today, like people get shot and they fly, and like it's they'll get knocked off their feet and stuff, and these people, it's just like, oh, he just like fell over, there's no blood. It's just kind of that thing of, I think for us the reality of things isn't always so graphic and in your face, that this is the one exception where we have to fix it in post, is the reasonable, because it and it's just like anything with with stage acting and stuff, is you really kind of have to like overdo your emotions and actions and everything to be able to make it seen. Whereas, in reality, it's something that, none, like it's tough, as a, if you were actually to punch somebody, it's tough to make it, look realistic to what we think it would be.
Well, and that's the thing, like on the ground, like, and I mean, you can see it by looking there, but I mean, it's a lot worse than how it looks, and I don't I don't say that to get myself in trouble with, like, what are you talking about? You're filming over here, like, but it's one of those things like it's not the most stable of places. Like usually when you have stunt places, you got a mattress to fall down on, or you got a mat or something, something where it's like it softens. We didn't have that. We had rough patches of dirt, and well, there might be a rusty nail over here, or there might
Yeah,
be a
I was going to say we kind of got to be careful because you could fake fall on the ground and wind up needing a tetanus shot later that day. So
yeah, no, it's exactly, it's like it's a great
uh,
environment to shoot in, but not to fall in.
yeah, it is definitely something you don't want to be rolling around in the dirt in that area.
No, especially at that exact spot. I mean, maybe at other places where it's not really, there's not really, where the two trees are, where no houses, but like right there, where it's right behind a house, that's abandoned. You're like, you don't know if there's broken glass, you don't know if there's, something that you just don't see. I mean, a lot of the things in life, like we never see until after it's too late. We're like, oh, nope. But yeah, Robert Pearson says stunt punches are all about camera angle and timing, and I feel like that's kind of what we got right with the tilt-a-whirl. Um, like they put just enough of you start in the punch, and then it kind of blinks out, and then you see the reaction to it, because we got enough of those, but it was just actually making it look real. So I mean, he helped fake that and make it look good, because it really did look like you just knocked the shit out of me, which I'm sure, a lot of people are like, man, I wish I envy that guy.
Ah, wow, to be given the chance to do that.
It's
Like, what do I have to do to sign up for that fan experience?
it's its own gift now. Like it's just me getting punched. Everybody hates me. I get it. It's
Uh,
fine. It's fine.
it's
So
we can match it up with Zuckerberg doing it that way.
it's your reaction for that dick pic thing I did for him. God damn it. So damn. So that being said, the other one of the films that sticks out in my mind, because you've done a lot behind the scenes, and a lot of it was just like, hey, we're gonna go shoot this. Are you free Saturday? All right, I'll be there. All right, cool. And that, like, and I never have to worry about if you'll show up, because you're like always there. And that's one thing, like, I don't think people realize is, like, if you cancel on a shoot with me, like, I'm fucking done with you. Like I that's the best way to end a friendship with me is, hey, yeah, we'll be there. And then we're all fucking sitting there waiting on you, who we've wrote a script about, and then you don't show. And it's just like, really? And you've been there for those type of shoots. What's it like being disappointed for those type of
Yeah,
shoots?
it does, and I think the thing a lot of people like you don't see, and especially if you're just watching the movies themselves, like you don't always necessarily see, what the other characters that were supposed to be in there were, and kind of behind the scenes, it's like, oh well, like we were supposed to be waiting for Joe to show up, and Joe didn't come, so we're gonna have to kind of rearrange his lines and stick them with other people, which in one sense it kind of sounds, which I want to say it, maybe for other people it would throw other people for a big, like just throw them in a tizzy, and for Vance does a really good job of kind of rolling with that and just changing things on the fly to be able to make everything work and come out well in the end. But it really does kind of mess with you. Like Vance, I think ideally Vance would like to see a whole bunch of different characters that are in his movies, and a lot bigger variety. In fact, I would say just in the ones that I've been involved with, there's probably an additional 10, maybe 15 people that would be in the movies, and different characters that would show up for different little bits. that he had kind of intended to be in there. That you get somebody slotted for, and hey, we just need a like 45 minutes on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon, and and you kind of hear somebody of, oh yeah, 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 I'm going to be there, and then the meeting time comes, and you got 3 or 4 people that are there ready to go, and it's just not like nobody, the one person that you're waiting on just doesn't show up. So for us it kind of, yeah, there's, Vance has to kind of fix everything on the fly, but then too, for us, what's supposed to be a 30-45 minute shoot turns into an hour and a half or 2 hours, because you're having to fix everything just on the script, and then we're having to try to, okay, well, originally this is where that person was going to be and this is what they were going to do. Like, how can we get the shot? How can we do something that goes around that? And I think one of those that comes to mind as an example was the what was, which one was it? It was where, like, they were on the planet with the anomaly, and like,
Sinking.
we
It's the
were,
one where the crew of the
yeah,
23rd century Constar. Yeah, yep, yep.
yeah, yeah, and we end up kind of, it was like, oh, okay, well, you know we kind of had to get some shots of various either unconscious or dead bodies, kind of a thing. And so it was like, okay, well, here, you go and wear this uniform, and let's lay you down in this spot. And there was a lot of kind of maneuvering to, okay, well, can you get behind your head behind this tree, or can you get your head and body behind this rock so that we can't see anything? Because like, for some of us it's like, okay, well, the character you're portraying, because like, Drew, you're about the size of this person, but you're very obviously not the same color.
And you were
And
wearing
so,
tan pants.
yeah, well, that helped too. Like, it just kind of makes it look like, like, hey, here we go. This is better than the jeans,
There you
because
go.
that makes it look like, really look like a uniform. But or jean shorts. But yeah, but there's kind of, how can we maneuver so that you're only exposing certain parts of the, of that character, so that then you can still have them do their lines and everything in a different shot, and be able to kind of either cut those in, or jump back and forth, to be able to show those different things, so that we could actually make it work and get done what Vance needed to get done.
Yeah.
But that one, I think, I want to say, was there 3 of us that day,
Yep. It
and
was you,
we
me,
probably
and
portrayed. I
Chris,
think it
and you.
was, yeah, tall
Five,
Chris.
five people. Yeah, yeah, five
Yeah,
different
and
people.
we portrayed 5 or 6 people.
Yeah, yeah, and that's
so,
that's
so it
and
was
it
like,
was
okay, you go over here and put this uniform on, and you do it in this spot, and you'll be this person, and then, okay, put the different uniform on. You're going to go over to this spot, and you'll be a different person, and and it was just kind of, switching out to every different uniform that we had so we could get different shots.
yeah, because the story reflected um, in the film Sinking. If you guys, those of you who've seen the film Sinking, um, you guys will know the conversation. Those of you who haven't, either pause the show if you're watching a rewind, or if not, just go and watch it after this. But the conversations in the shuttlecraft, or the escape pods, that they have, was actually supposed to all be on the planet. Um, but no, since nobody showed up to do the planet stuff except for Drew and Chris, we were kind of like, well, fuck it. We'll just pretend like they tried to beam out, and they're passed out. Because they needed to make it, because I'd already had the lines from the other captain, which said, okay, the crew's living. We're beaming 5 people up, because the whole point of the end of the episode is we've got 5 people on the planet. We got 2 people on the ship. It's now a numbers game. I don't care if I live or die. It's a numbers game. 5 people on the planet, beam them up, save them. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's a numbers game. So if you have them dead on the planet, they can't be dead. So we'll have them unconscious, but there has to be people here. Otherwise there's just no story. So we that's where we put everybody in different positions, to try to fake that it was them. And then I went back to each one person next week, the following week, was like, hey, I can fix this. We can shoot this all on break, on your break, in my car, in the back of my car, and I can fake this. We can still have the same conversation you're supposed to have on the planet, just in a different environment. So we can lead up to what we've already shot on the planet. So which we were able to do, and it worked out just fine. But again, it's one of those things that nobody knows that how this was an entirely different movie with similar structure, but it happened in a completely different type of order because they were supposed to initially beam down to the planet, have these conversations. Two people go off over here, two people go off over here. We have the conversations, we come back together, and then at the end they get beamed up. None of that happens in the movie, so we had to completely restructure everything. And you're right, it's frustrating to do that on the fly, but to have everybody show, well, when I say everybody, you and Chris show up and be like, well, that was kind of a waste of time. I'm like, no, I got to get something out. I got to make this worth it. Especially when you and I both work so many hours, it's like we got to do something to make this worth it. And I think you drive like what, 30 minutes to get here?
Yeah, it's
when
like
you're
20.
when you're at home. Yeah. Well, see,
Yeah,
you
it's
speed.
like 20 minutes.
Either you speed or I drive like a grandma. I don't know. You've driven with me to Topeka, so which one is it?
You drive like a grandma.
I,
And
I,
and like I'm might push the speed limit a little bit.
see. So I'm not grandma. I'm granny. There we go.
Yeah, granny.
That's
Vance is the type of person that goes 5 to 10 miles under the speed limit, whereas like I'm the one that's passing him on the highways.
I get flipped off by old women all the time. They're like, "We got an early bird special to catch, bitch!" Oh, damn it!
Vance gets passed by the grandmas.
Yeah, the Golden Girls don't like me on the highway. It's not.
You got Betty White going by. I got places to go.
Oh man. So so that being said, one of the other films that I think stands out, which not many people realize, but you filmed a fan film for George Cayenne, for Starship Andalus, and it was the Constar part of that story, which was the first one it was the first real heavy crossover we had. I mean, I've been doing crossovers with Menard, and him on his series, back and forth, and him on my series, back and forth. But this was the first time where it was just a real heavy analyst / Constar mix. We got a good sense of the 23rd century Constar crew. But we needed the location, of a planet to film, which was right outside my house, which is, I think, a great location for any away mission, especially when you're like, okay, let's go grab something to drink. All right, let's go break for lunch,
Yeah, that makes it really nice.
It really does. It really does. You can avoid those metal spiders with Royce,
Yep.
But you really took the ball on this one by directing the shots, setting us up. I kind of just gave the camera to you and was like, here you go. This is where we're supposed to shoot this. I trust you're the cinematographer. You do it, What was it like directing that episode? Because, I mean, you, of course, know all those people from work. Well, all of them except for Scott. Scott is Chris's husband. But all of those guys were, I think they had a lot of fun, a bunch of characters. What was it like being kind of taking ownership with me that day and doing, being in charge?
I mean, that's kind of always like one of the things that I've always been good at is just, like if you say, hey, this is what I'm seeing, kind of what I want to happen, and like just kind of taking that and then making it happen, kind of whether, like if you were to give me a picture and say, hey, I want to build this, but I don't, I've got no clue how, like that's the kind of thing I can build something that makes it look like that. So, like kind of doing this is just the same way, but, with a camera. And like it was really interesting to just kind of let you guys go out there and do everything. The one of the things that I ended up finding out from that film was how much like, you know, I always kind of thought that like ambient sounds were not that big of a deal. And for whatever that day, like you would think from looking at it, we're kind of out in the middle of nowhere, which I mean, for one, we're in Kansas, so you kind of are, but uh, you know, like you really like there were some of the sounds that you kind of you could hear from across the river valley at times, and it was like I think there was somebody driving a motorcycle that had to have been miles away, and it was like, dude, what has this guy got? Like, it sounded like he had glass backs on his, you know, and it was okay. I think it's quiet, and all of a sudden, then you'd hear from what had to be on the complete other side of the river, like going up the highway, just you know, and it was like oh, okay, you know, and then I swear, I mean, it almost sounded like a truck Jake braking right next to you, and it was just you know, like we'd okay, all right, it's kind of quiet, and then you'd get, you know, it's like what the god dang it, man, uh, and then and and then you know when that quieted down or whatever 5 minutes we got out of that, you know, I don't even know what music your neighbors were playing, but that had to have been like, and we were outside.
Yeah.
I mean, this sounded like a concert venue. Like, good God, people, like, have you got any hearing left? But yeah, and then I mean, I was just flat out amazed at how much, you know, like how much sound that little microphone would pick up.
Yeah.
And you know, the microphone makes it really nice for being able to pick up voices and stuff from people. When you know, like you don't have to worry as much about shouting and projecting your voice of you know because the microphone's gonna pick it up. But yeah, we found out that it also picks up just about everything else. I mean, even to the point of you know, like here we're joking about those things that we can't control, but you know, there was times where you'd go back and watch a scene, rewatch a scene, and I think Royce is trying to compete with you for sound. 'Cause he's
I'm laughing at Drew, son. It's Drew is talking and telling jokes, and Daddy's laughing at him,
yeah,
buddy.
yeah, I'm very silly.
Drew is very funny. You're right. You want
And
to come and say hi? No, come here, turkey butt. Come on over here. Yeah, you can say hi. Come on. Oh, say excuse me, Neelix.
Okay.
Let me get you here. There you go.
Hi, Drew.
hi,
What are you
Royce.
doing, Drew?
Here,
I'm sitting here having an interview with your dad.
say it again. Oh, we can hear you.
I'm sitting here having an interview with your dad.
You're sitting there looking at my dad.
Yep. What are you doing?
I just saying hello to you,
Yeah.
and I'm playing with toys.
Oh, did you get some toys for Easter? Yeah. Were they cool
And I
toys?
got and I got a train set.
A train set?
Yes.
That's funny. That's what my nephew got. He got some trains.
So Grandpa gave that train box of train set to me.
That's really cool.
Because I just like it.
Yeah. That's a pretty
Oh.
cool gift.
Because, yes.
Okay, go play with your train set, buddy. Say bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
So we were talking about the microphone and the
Well,
pickup.
yeah, yes. Speaking of ambient noise, you know, and I mean, I think you kind of always hear this from, you know, if you ever see like a behind the scenes kind of thing. But you know, you'll hear them, you know, on real movie sets, you'll hear them, you know, quiet on the set and stuff. You know, but even you know, like for the actors would be like, okay, hey, you know, like guys, just you know, quiet down a little bit so we can get this shot. And honestly, they'd be over there being pretty quiet, and you'd get you know like they'd be kind of whispering, but just enough to where like I could hear them, and then you'd play it back over the phone, you know, and you know like take a look at the shot, and it sounds like they're just you know like talking at normal volume, and it's like what the heck? This thing just picks like it picks up whatever it wants to.
Yeah,
But you know,
you're sitting there and you're like, Mr. Cherico, prepare for phasers, and you hear in the background, God, I hope he's wearing a thong, and you're like, what? What the hell? I think the
yeah,
best I think the best thing that day we did was the all right guys, now prepare for total fear and run away. And
yeah, that one. I don't know if you've ever talked about it on another one, but you know, we kind of sitting there talking, and we kind of did some prep shots, and you know, I think you know we kind of talking as a group, and we said, you know what? I think Scott said, yeah, oh man, for fear, we kind of and I think this started out as a joke of like, oh, you know, somebody needs to do a gay run, just kind of, you know, just run away. And Scott goes, oh, that is me. And Scott takes it on, and you know, I, I think my happiest thing about this was that I didn't fall over while filming. You know, when we did this shot, because Scott comes running past me, and he's just got his arms flailing, and he's just got the stereotypical gayest of gay voice going, and he just and just runs through this shot.
it was
and,
it was
and I'm glad it had to be a voiced over one because I could not as much as I could, you know, I kept the camera straight and level, but I couldn't, you know, I couldn't be quiet.
it was great because the only thing that would have made that better is if he ran directly through the trees and then you just see the imprint of Matt, or of Scott, just like right there. You just like they do in those old classic cartoons when they
Yeah,
run like through the wall, like because
yeah.
like that's how cartoonish he was. Like, and it's like, man, I got to bring this dude back. Like this is like I'm gonna hang out with this guy all day. Like I know him and Chris,
Oh,
they had dinner with Mona, and like he was just such a fun guy
oh
to
yeah.
have
They were
around,
a blast.
and that's one of that's one of the best shoots that I've had, at least here. Just fun. We didn't take nothing seriously, and we're like, you know what, we're going for it. We're going all in. Let's go. And that's yeah, that was a great time.
Yeah, that one was a lot of fun. And yeah, that was definitely a good one.
Hold on, just like, okay. I thought Royce was unplugging my charger there. I was like, what are you doing, turkey butt? So, all that being said, you've done what, about maybe a dozen fan films, like both in front and behind the camera, would you say, give or take? Maybe.
Yeah, I'd say shoot. I know, you know, I've only kind of, you know, had an acting role in a few of them, but there's been quite a few where, you know, you'll say, hey, you know, I need to do this on a Sunday or Saturday afternoon. You know, can I get some help with you know, just, you know, doing some camera work and stuff, and yeah, they're always a lot of fun, and they're always some good times, and we get some real good memories out of them.
Well, I know we got one coming up that involves a special dance with uh, Sean and Jim and me and a
Oh
cowboy
yeah,
hat. And
that's the one you've been wanting to get for a while, isn't it?
that is, I think that needs to be like, we need to get that. And I know exactly how we're gonna. That's gonna be my trailer for next season. Like this is gonna entice people to come.
Yeah, because this is as they say, this milkshake's going to bring all the boys to the yard.
Damn right. That's. Oh man. Well, Drew, it's been about an hour. So I think we've taken up enough of these people's time, mentally scarred them enough. So,
And
and I know you.
unfortunately, these scars do not heal.
No time passes that will heal them. And I know you got to get to work. So that being said, I want to say thank you for doing the Pizza Roll Diaries with me. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. You're good friend. Great guy to work with. So I just want to say thank you for taking the time to do this. And all of you guys who have shown up, we do have a no budget production store. So I do have my own merch. And I know Frank is going to be putting some more shirts reflective of my zombie films and my superhero film. So that's going to be on there as well. So if you guys want no budget production shirts or merchandise like cups, coffee cups, or whatnot, go check out the store. The description is in the link, or the link is in the description. Tongue tied there, and also Matt's Lawn Care put up in the chat here, the live chat, the link to it as well. So if you just want to check it out and see if there's something there you'd like, we put a lot of thought into what would go make you guys happy, and if there's something you guys want to see, show up, shoot it my way, and I'll see if it's something I can. Of course, if it's CBS copywritten, I can't do it because no official Trek stuff, and I don't even want to approach anything like that, to where they come and look at this and go, but if it's one of my films or no budget production stuff, I'm more than happy to kind of see, okay, where are we at here, and let's get it to you guys. Well, we do have face masks, which Frank told me at one time that they could be used for thongs, so we don't have that. Yes. So what you do with them, I know I've said before, if you buy something, take a picture and send it to me. That's not always the case. We do have a screening process. We're not quite as strict as Facebook, but so I won't block you for those pictures. So yeah, and Frank says hoodies can be added. So yeah, if you guys have something you want, we're more than happy to look into it, and of course all of this is done at no cost. There's no upcharge, at least for me. It's no extra cost for you guys. So if they charge us $16.58 for a shirt, that's what you guys are going to pay. Plus the shipping, of course. But I'm not making any money from this. So that being said, go check it out. See if there's something there you guys want, and if so, send me a picture of you. When you get your item, because I'd love to post that out there, because I think that's kind of cool. So that being said, Drew, again, thank you very much for spending the hour with me. See you tonight at work. Everybody at home, thank you for coming and joining us live. If you're watching this on the rewind, that's just as good. Numbers don't mean much. Your enjoyment means more. So thank you for spending time with me. You guys could be anywhere. You chose to spend it with me. So thank you. And with that being said, be genuine, be safe, and keep on geeking on, guys.